Yes. So whoever's there is going to start showing up. Here they come.
Awesome. Hi, everyone.
And then we're going to go here and we're going to go live.
Let us know who's here by putting your name in the chat board if you would like to join us that way.
Okay, so we are currently live on Facebook.
Good morning,
Happy
everyone.
August 3rd.
I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for Cindy Krupp for being our party host. And it's Monday morning here in the United States. It's 9 a.m. Eastern, and we have these weekly check-in calls. Just felt like a good idea just to have a chance to talk about some of the comments that have been coming in, just to keep everyone on track. Good morning. The comments are coming in on the Zoom chat board. You guys on Facebook, good morning. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Cindy, just to open it up if you have anything you want to start with or share.
Okay. Well, we can wait if you want because we're actually still 2 minutes early. So anyone who's actually still in a linear timeline and thinks we're beginning at 9, will be disappointed if we started earlier than that. And I just want to make sure that we are live because I'm not seeing it on my Facebook page. So.
That's perfect. I'm looking at all the comments here. Good morning. Love the haircut. Me too. It's funny. I'm growing it back out again because I really like it off my face. That's just my way.
Oh, there we are. I see us on Facebook.
Lovely to see you all.
Joan's watching us in Germany on Facebook.
Oh, wonderful. Good morning, Joan.
Looks like Yvonne in Germany is also on Facebook. And everybody else is starting to come through. Reverend Kim is here. And the
Yay!
Miracle Center. Who is it? Yeah, who is it from the Community Miracle Center that's here? Because you're labeled just like that. So
well, I know Rev Kim is there, but I'm not sure. Might be Rev Kelly. That would be exciting. Good morning, all.
So we are now 9 a.m. here in New York. And I am formally welcoming Lisa and everybody else who is here to today's check-in. And I'm also, whether you're here live in this linear time and space, or if you're listening to us afterwards, I am inspired to invite everybody to take a breath. We're not on day 21 yet. So if this is your first day through the 40-day, you haven't officially learned how to pause, but I still invite you to take a moment, perhaps put your hand on your heart, even close your eyes, listen to my breath, listen to my voice, watch your breath. Just formally take a conscious step back. Just take a step back and breathe into this moment and allow yourself to bring yourself into this moment now. Just for these few minutes that we get to spend together, let go of your past, stop thinking about your future, and allow yourself to just be here now. Pause. I love living in the pause. And I thank you, Bill, if you're listening, for all the ways you've helped us all step into that space. Hi, Lisa. We're 62 people here in Zoom. There's another, it's growing. It was 18, now it's 19 watching.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Cindy, for opening up and for being our party host here in the 40-day program. And welcome, everyone. It is officially, if you started on the day we started the group launch, we did the 3-day preparation, and then we started with day 1. And if you started with that, it's day 12 today. And you should be getting the emails. And today is forgiveness, all or nothing. And what I wanted to say is that it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you have fallen off, gotten a little sidetracked, because that's just normal. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do a weekly check-in, because it really does keep people on track. It's like you kind of get the message there's a call. You're like, oh, that's right, that 40-day thing. Oh yeah, I forgot I signed up for that. Oh, I forgot I made a commitment. And one of the things I do, this is just kind of my thing, I actually always use a journal. I use a paper journal. And the reason, I mean a calendar, and the reason I do that is because I don't have to remember anything. I put it down and I can forget about it. I don't have to keep things up here anymore. It's just like, boom, it's written down. And so I write the days down. I write them in here. It's like day 12 today. And this is just a good thing that maybe will be helpful for you if you find that you're forgetting that you're in a 40-day transformation. That's just one little thing. And we got some really great comments that came in, and Cindy pulled together a lot of good ones for us also. So I'm just going to get started so we can take as many as we want, as we can. The first one is, what's typical regarding emotional ups and down, and how to respond to either, and how to respond if you are feeling neither? So what's typical? Like, that's an interesting question, because what's typical when you're in conflict is different from what's typical when you're centered in peace. So that's what the 40-day is. It really is just about becoming aware of how you're feeling, what you're thinking, kind of what's going on. So you're not changing the physical, you're becoming super alert to what the mind is doing. That's why I always suggest, don't try to change the physical. That's what we do in the world. We're like, well, I don't feel good, so I'll try to change my job, or I'll go on a diet, or I'll see if I can change that person. And when you're trying to change the picture out there, you're not aware of what is going on here. So that's what the 40-day is all about, is that you become like really watching those thoughts like a hawk. And so what's normal, like what's typical regarding emotions and ups and downs? Well, I mean, we all know what's typical when we're in conflict, right? It's up and down and left and right and all over the map, and resentments and grievances and judgment and shame and blame and guilt, and it doesn't feel good, right? And so that's where this work for transformation is, to become a master at watching all that activity and not letting it be in control. It's to bring yourself, like Cindy said, come back to the quiet, like come back here. And what's typical when you're in a centered place is peace, love, joy, appreciation, gratitude, excitement, enthusiasm. So what's typical really depends on where you're at in the moment in your mind. And all that's needed is a shift from a place of conflict to the quiet, to like, okay, back home again. And there you can make a different response. So that's the first one. The second one is, the lure continues relative to attempting to make other people's stories real. The most comments come after someone shares an upset. This is from Cindy. Cindy sent me these. And there still is a tendency to attempt to, quote unquote, fix. Let's see. And then and this is what I was expressing last week, and you may have not been here, but to be alert when someone posts a story to be alert when you want to add your 2 cents in the comment area and give advice, because that's not always helpful. That's the best way I can say it. And what happens when we're in a world as bodies, we're taught to give advice. We're taught that we help another by showing them a different perspective. And that's not always helpful. What's helpful is where you see through someone's stories. That's really the 40-day program is what I consider a launching pad. It's like a beginning where I put like the best of A Course in Miracles in the 40 days so that people could get a taste of it, like an experience of it, to see that there's a whole other way of seeing things differently. Like I saw this great comment. Let's see, I pulled a bunch of them and oh, here we go. This is from Ellen. And her name is Ellen Dot. I love you too. I love that. She goes, as for me, I am so done with looping. I had a thought yesterday that maybe my dad is not what I thought. Beginning to drop my timeline. I hear now, love. Thank you for everything, Lisa. So that's it. Like, we thought a person was a certain way. We thought a situation was a certain way. We thought we were a certain way. And when you make a decision to see things differently, you have that aha moment. Maybe my dad is not what I thought. Maybe the situation is not what I thought. Maybe it was all my perception and my story lopped onto the situation. And with my story lopped on it, we can't see the truth. That's what A Course in Miracles says, is our grievances block the light in me. It's there, I can't see it though. I can't see it when I project my own grievances and resentments onto myself and others. So this one here is the lure continues to make other people's stories real. And so that's where in the 40-day, like Cindy said at the beginning of this call, the best thing is the quiet. Whenever you read someone's stories, you see a post on Facebook, you're in a situation that seems really scary, you take a moment. So it's not that you're saying the thing is not real. Like, I saw somebody's family member pass last night, and I send you so much love. Like, it's not that we're not saying like that's, it's like I also got another message. Someone's going, her sister was diagnosed with a tumor 3 weeks ago, and the tumor's like wrapped around her stomach and all the organs, and they're going this morning for CAT scan or something. So it's not that we're saying, oh, it's not real. It's and we're not ignoring it. But the first place is to pause, like take a moment, because if we don't take a moment, the mind just takes us on a road trip. Like, oh my God, my sister's gonna die. Oh my God, that person did just whatever, like whatever's happening in the moment. But when you take a moment, just like Cindy said it so beautifully at the beginning of this call, to breathe, bring it back, bring our attention back here. And from here, you connect again with all the love and appreciation, gratitude, and then a different response comes forth. Now, that woman can go be with her sister in the doctor's office today, totally present, not afraid, totally there, 100% just there, in gratitude and appreciation and love. So that's how this is not magical, right? This isn't magical. It's not like trying to change the picture. It's saying, okay, let me be present in love, in joy, in gratitude, in peace, in appreciation. So, and when people are posting stories on Facebook. If you see them, I love the comments. I love how all of you are showing up. It's just really a commitment. I'm loving it. And I'll still see people posting long stories about, whatever, and that's fine. But just know that when you're in the middle of posting a story, you often don't know what you're doing. So that's why I always suggest, before anyone posts on Facebook, before you post the long, this is what happened, and he said this, and she said this, and I did this, and then I did this, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then just go, why am I posting this? First of all, why am I posting this story? Because what happens for me when I take the minute, I'm like, oh, I don't even need to post this. I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, so, and if you see a story, so somebody's there, just extend love and joy and blessing, knowing that they are changing because you're changing. So let's see. Cynthia says on the board, it's difficult relearning how to have a conversation with friends and family and not tell a story about your day. Yeah, and so that's a good one, Cynthia, because it's a new space. I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would say it's different. And that's why Jesus calls A Course in Miracles a mind training. It's kind of like being in military camp, right? You're training your mind in a whole new territory. So as bodies, we're used to showing up and telling all our problems, right? That's how we show up. I don't know. Like, this is a sidetrack. Bill and I cleaned out our shed over the weekend. We have this big shed out back that's like a little house, and we just decided, let's get rid of like a lot of stuff from the past. And I found it was fun. It was really fun because you see stuff you haven't seen in years, and I kept pictures from my childhood, and I have all my report cards. I have all my report cards from first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, all of them. And my third and fourth grade report cards have the teachers' comments on them. And the comments say stuff like, Lisa is a joy to be with. Lisa's a pleasure to have in class. But Lisa should stop being so silly. Lisa needs to tone down the silliness and be more serious. Lisa should stop being so social in class. Lisa needs to take a more serious tone before she gets to the middle school. Harmless comments, I'm sure, from the teacher, but that's what happens in time and space. We have people telling us that we should be a certain way, and we take it on. We absolutely take it on, and we hide our light, we tone it down, we become what others want us to be. So now, Cynthia, we're reversing all of that. We're reversing all the learning, or we're unlearning all we learned. That's A Course in Miracles. So now, when you're in this new space, to be okay in the discomfort to not saying anything. That's the best thing I know when you're first learning, when you're kind of still on shaky ground. That will be uncomfortable. That will be another comment I saw, which I really liked, was somebody said, that was so good. Let's see, it was something about grievances. Okay, here we go. From Maria. The problem with, this is so funny. The problem with having no grievances is that I have no grievances. I feel like I just freed up a whole lot of computing power in my brain. I feel a sense of directionlessness, no purpose, no goals, no agenda. I'm floating, pausing, wanting to move, take action, do something, head somewhere. So that's the same, Cynthia, that you just posted on the board, but in different, just in a different way of expressing it. But when we let go of our grievances and our stories and our upset and our blame and our guilt and our shame, it's like, well, what do I do now? Like, what do we talk about? What do I do? Nothing's happening. Be still in the discomfort of it. Just be okay with not making up a story. Just be in that new space, right? It's like we're going into new territory. We don't have to figure out how to bring ourselves there. So Cindy, do you want to share anything?
Other than I love you.
You're so great. So let's see what's on the board right now. We have more things from the notes, but I want to make sure.
I do want to comment on the fact someone's indicating that she would be glad to purchase the course. The 40 days will never be sold. And we currently, it's set up currently so that you could download the audios. You can't download the videos, and we did not make the transcripts downloadable either. And that was just, there are reasons behind those decisions, but you can download the audios and take those with you if you're not.
Okay. Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
I'll get a copy of my book. I want to also say at the very end of the 40-day program, we do have a webinar where we do offer other programs that we have available, like Living in Purpose, and at a major discount. So I'm not going into any of that today, but one of the things that's being worked on too is including A Course in Miracles in there. So that's one thing I just want to say for anybody who maybe wants to go forward. But I totally like encourage everyone to read A Course in Miracles. So I'm going to get a copy of my book. This is the one I like the best. This is the Circle of Atonement version. This is actually a funny book. This is, I walked the Camino de Santiago 2 years in a row with friends. All you can carry is a backpack. So I ripped out the lessons that were for that time, making a huge hole in my book. But this is the one. And Course in Miracles, Circle of Atonement. If you have the Foundation for Inner Peace, that will do also. But this one's the original manuscript. It's got everything. It's on Amazon. If you're in other countries, you can get it directly from the Circle of Atonement. They will ship it to you anywhere around the world.
So I do have some comments.
Okay, good.
On Facebook. We are now about 130 people live, which is so much fun. Can I just say this while I was thinking about it? Because a lot of people are thinking they're not quite getting it right, or they're not to date and all those things. I just want to say that I took a look at the numbers, and most of the people who say yes to doing the 40-day never actually even begin. Something like 50% will say yes, and they're still being blessed, but then they never get past the welcome email. So if you're here, if you're listening to Lisa right now, then you're in it and you're doing it, and you're making progress, and don't worry about doing it right, because there's no way to do it wrong. So I thought I should say that. But Jennifer here is saying, I'll read you one question at a time and you let me know if you want the others. But she says, I'm very confused. Are we not supposed to talk, share our day and talk about our goals, or share our dreams?
That's a great question. And there was another one that's similar to that. This isn't about not talking. That's what I was just saying. It's that you take the moment, you're becoming a master of your thoughts, your emotions, your location, where you are, before you say things. You know, like before when we're unconscious, walking around, we are not aware of what the mind is doing. So stuff's just coming out. It's like we're not aware that we can make a choice of what comes out of this vehicle, right? We're just like, I'm upset, blah. I'm mad at you, blah. Or like, just it's always this. And when you undergo a transformation, you're like as a writer, I love writing. I've always loved writing. I've always been aware I choose the words. There's a million words, a million things I can say. I could post so many different, 1,000 different stories I could post on Facebook if I wanted to today. I pause and I choose the one that I want to choose, and out it comes through my fingers, through my writing, through my expression. But when you're unconscious, it's just, I want this, you're this, I hate you, you're this, I'm that. No, that's where the 40-day in the desert is like, to be still first and choose. I choose joy. I choose if I'm going to post something on Facebook, it's going to be the truth. I choose that. I choose love. I choose if I have a grievance. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to stand still in this for a moment. Like, I don't want a grievance. I don't want a grievance. I want something else. And when we're just getting started, we don't know what the something else is at first, right? So this person said, she's in AA, which is an amazing program. I've been sober myself almost 20 years. Where did it go? She said, okay, I'm in a 12-step program and I have sponsees that I am helping. Should I tell them I can't help them during these 40 days? And I want to say, I love the comments that were on that comment in Facebook. And Cindy, I thought of my response, and like I said, I'm not responding on Facebook. The admins are there for that, and I'm so grateful that everyone's just there being a light. And Cindy, but you said what I would have said, is that I don't know how you said it, but it was basically, this isn't about changing what we're doing. So to keep doing what you're doing, that's what you said. So this isn't, and to go back to your question, it's not that we're not talking, it's that we're being aware as the first place where we move from. So now when you're with your sponsees, you'll be more present than ever with them in a whole new way. So we're not changing what we're doing. We're not waiting for the 40 days to end to pick up our life again. That's not it. Keep doing whatever you're doing, whatever medical protocol you're on, whatever diet you're on, whatever you're doing, whatever job you're working. But the 40 days is to begin to notice what you're noticing, as they say. So when your sponsee is sharing with you, you're totally with them. You're listening to what they're saying. You're in the silence and the quiet. And from this quiet place, something will start coming through. You'll have a thought. You'll connect with something they say. So you're showing up differently. That's my experience. But yeah. Anything else, Cindy? I see some ones in the comment board here.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking here. So Dorina, I apologize if I mispronounced your name. She wrote, I blew it yesterday, talked to a cousin and shared a bunch of family stories. There was less charge, but I did it. How do I recover when I do something like that? And I think it's the same thing Jackie's talking about. How do we talk to people who are complaining and used to us complaining? And
that's a good one.
So, yeah, so those are the two questions I'm passing on to you.
I love that. And that's why, like, I only started reading the Bible like when I was 32, 33. I didn't have a Bible background or church background. And I started reading a bunch of metaphysical books about Jesus. I started reading unity books about Jesus, and he could never teach in his hometown. They always like he had to leave Nazareth, because that's the thing. When we're in our hometown, in our family, our friends, those who think they know us, because that's how we've been, it's hard to get out of that role. Again, I'm always complaining, I'm always judging, and people know me like that. People know me as negative, they know me as sick, they know me as this, they know me as that. So when you start showing up in a new way, they start reminding you, hey, you're not like that. You're, you're a total fake. That's what I got along. That's what I got when I stopped being a sick person. I was a sick person for a long time, and I started being joyful, and I started being in gratitude. People used to say to me, I was faking. I wasn't really healed. I'm faking. I'm a fraud. I'm a fake. I'm an unhealed healer. People would tell me this. They would say, you're just faking it. You're just. And for a while, it might be faking. It might feel like faking. It might feel like, okay, I'm not really feeling like this. But then it's like, Cindy, you said just a few minutes ago, you can't do this wrong. You can't do it wrong. If you have just a small willingness to focus on the truth and gratitude and love, it's my experience is it's like an energy field that starts to move and grow. So maybe in the beginning, when I decided I'm not going to be a sick person anymore, even though I had physical symptoms still, I was like, I am not that weak person anymore. Screw that. I am not limited. I am not powerless. I am not frail. But the body was giving me evidence still of sickness. But I decided I'm going to identify with what's true in me. So there was a period where I was like moving. That's the best way I can describe it. Out of complaining, out of negativity. And I had my husband, Bill, to be there to support me. And that's what we wanted for this 40-day community to be, that you would have support from others who are on the path with you, who really are just, they don't support your story of sickness and suffering and complaining and littleness. So I had Bill. Thank you, Bill, for being there during that time, because it can be shaky ground for a while, right? But you have people reminding you of the truth of what you are, and that's what we do. That's what the admins are here in the Facebook group for. That's what Cindy's here for. And then once you're on more solid ground yourself, you'll start helping others. That's what Living in Purpose is all about. That's the other program after the 40-day program. That's what the Healing Cure is about. It's like, okay, I see. I can choose to not be a victim anymore. I can choose joy. I can choose appreciation. People are not going to like it. You are definitely going to lose people, for sure. You have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the world changing. You have to be okay with people saying things to you. So you just have to be okay with it. I don't know. I don't know any other way to say it, but I want to just remind everyone, when we first started, that we all wanted change, right? We all were like, yay, yes, I want my life to change. Okay, I'm ready. But then what happens? Change starts to occur and we freak out. We're like, oh my God, that person is falling away from my life. So that's what happens. Like, we ask for change, we desire it, it starts to happen and we just get scared. We just think like, well, I wanted change, but I wanted everything to stay the same. You see the insanity of that? But if you really want change, if you really want to step into a whole new place of peace and power and playfulness and joy and love and gratitude. But when I stopped drinking, when I was alcoholic, um, and I hung out in bars all the time. I was a party girl. This was back in the 80s and the 90s. And those were all my friends. And you could always find me in the bar. That's who I hung out with. I hung out with people who drank with me. And when I decided to stop drinking, I stopped hanging out in the bars. And all those friends went away. And then some of them have come back. The ones who were solid, they'll leave for a while, and they're still drinking, but they're my best friends. Like they've come back now. We've created a new friendship without alcohol. That's one example. So, but I had to be okay with saying, okay, I'm not drinking anymore, so I'm not hanging out with people who drink anymore. And that's how it can be. I love you so much, Cindy. I know I have to learn to pause on these calls too. I get so excited.
Yeah. So there is a question on Facebook about forgiveness and how to forgive the past. And that is so much about what today and jumping the timeline is about. And it is one of the things that I think speaks very clearly to what you're talking about now. And it's also something that, you know, so hard for so many people to think is important, right? The world thinks that we have to hold on to our hurts from yesterday to keep us protected so we don't get hurt tomorrow. And that really is that's really not what Jesus is teaching here in A Course in Miracles. So she literally just says, how do I let go of the past? And I know that all of that is in today's day 12, but I didn't know if you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And to me, it's almost like it's not a letting go so much, even though that is the language that's used, and I use it sometimes, like let the past go. It's more like in the present, without hanging on to it, it just goes. It just disappears. But what we do is we hang on to it. Like, this is my story. Like, I like what you just said, Cindy. Like, we, over our lifetime, we've learned that our hurts protect us. It's weird, but that's, sickness gives us days off from work. It gets us love and attention. Suffering, we think, gets us something. We think, and it becomes the comfort zone. And so when anyone is finally like, all right, I really would like to know myself. I would like to have a new experience. I really want to emerge from conflict and suffering. And I know it must be possible because I've seen that there are people in the world who have done it, transcended pain and suffering and sorrow and despair. And so that's where the decision has to be made. Like, you have to really say, what do I value more? Do I want to keep valuing, like, do you need, it's, I call them toys that hurt you. It's like when we went through the shed the other day, it's funny, like the stuff that's like, oh my God, look at this. But it's been sitting in the shed for years. I don't use it. It comes back and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this time. And then I go back there and Bill and I were like, oh, remember that? But I didn't even let go of it. It's still in the shed. It's still there, but it's like, I don't pay attention to it. So I totally forgot about it. I don't even know it's there. So that's where it's like, forgiveness is where you, it's not a doing. A Course in Miracles says it, like this is an undoing. And when we don't have, like, Bill and I got this email this week from someone who wanted to battle with, like, have a back and we have had a past history where it's like this tennis game. It's like your court, your ball, like that things should have gone this way. And Bill and I were reading the email and we just don't want conflict anymore. We were like, they were asking something of us and they wanted it to go a certain way. And we were like, got it, will do. We're like, what's the response here? Do we want to say, well, I did it because of this, and this is the better way, and this is this way, and this is this way? We were like, okay, will do. Got it. Yep, thank you. Awesome. And literally, the emails go away. It literally just, because we weren't resisting. And we don't have an attachment to the outcome. We're like, okay, fine with us. And then it's like blessing. We pray. Bill and I always give thanks before we eat meals, just something we do. And we bless everyone. We hold hands and we give thanks. We give thanks and bless everyone here. We include everyone. We bless everyone on the Teachers of God Foundation team. We name our friends personally. If someone's having a problem and we know about it, we're sending them love and blessing them. We bless the food. We bless our cats. We bless this house. We bless any upcoming activities that may be coming our way. We give thanks that we're here as available to bring peace and joy to wherever we go. Amen. And then we eat. So that's a practice. Like, I don't want to hold on to anything that's hurting me anymore. Let's see. We got some grievances. If grievances caused by aging parents, their demands feel like they want to push you down so they can survive, inner child feels very scared and lost. Well, thank you for that. And yeah, just love them. That's the only response, really, like just love. But it's the grievances. Do you see? Like that's a good message. If grievances caused by aging parents, well, your grievances are not caused by aging parents. Your grievances are held in place by you, and you think they're caused by aging parents. But when you're done with the grievance, you will it will fall away. You will say, I'm just going to love them and enjoy the time that they're here. They'll be gone soon. Someday we'll all be gone soon. And to see it differently. Their demands feel like they want to push you down. Nothing can push you down. You're not a victim, right? You're not powerless. You're not limited. Nobody can do that. Nobody has that power. Aging parents, children, nobody has that power, except that you give it power and you think it's real so that they can survive. I got this message from someone the other day. This was fun. Someone has been around me a long time, and she's been watching her aging mom for years. She's here in Maine. She's come to our Friday group, and she had a grievance about her mother because she just felt like her life was put on hold by her mother, who was sick. And her mother's last words, right before she passed, her eyes opened up and she goes, "I'm not sick." And then she died. And my friend was so like the mother, it was almost like the way I read it. Maybe I read it wrong because she sent it in an email, but the way I saw it was that the mother was playing a game and the daughter bought into it And at the last moment, the mother just kind of went, I'm not sick. And then, but even that you got to let go of. Like, and we, I send back a message like, that's great. So you see, we don't have to buy into people's stories anymore. Let's see. Let's take one more. These calls, they go so fast. I'm just so grateful for you all.
There's a Q&A question I could give you. I think
Okay.
it speaks towards what we've been sharing. I'm not sick. How do you respond to people when you're engaged in a typical gossiping conversation when you don't want to gossip and be because you're changing without sounding like you're preaching?
Yeah, great question. I remember my mother, she's actually the one that taught me this one, even though it was kind of like the roles reversed, because she took the 40-day and she'd heard like that I was done with complaining and gossiping, but then I was still doing it. Like it's an old habit, right? And she was talking about also, she's retired now, but she was a nurse in a nursing home, and there was lots of gossiping among the nurses in the nursing home, lots of downtime and stuff. And what my mother started doing was, without preaching, she would just say, can we switch this to something positive? And then one day I was sitting on the beach with her and I was gossiping, and she's like, Lisa, you're gossiping. And I was like, oh, right. Good catch. So or you can just not be part of the conversation, walk away. That's another one, to say, in your own mind, just go, I don't have time. I literally don't have time for this. And I'd rather use my time personally. I want to use my time for things I love to do. I don't want to sit in groups where we're talking politics and grievances and fear. I'd rather be writing something or reading a book or playing with my cats or doing something, or hanging out in a space that's more uplifting. So it really just comes back to a choice to say, like, I don't want to hang on to that anymore. I don't want to gossip. I'm not a gossiper. And you'll actually see they'll fall away. Like, what's interesting to me is that people, when they get around me, it's like a vibration. And I saw this happening. They get around me and they literally couldn't tell their story because they thought, well, can't tell it around Lisa. Even though I always say, tell me everything. But then I would see they were doing it when they left me. They leave that vibration and you go into another one. So you're learning how to hold your own vibration, to hold the own space where literally it won't happen around you anymore. And if it does happen, it won't bother you. When people start talking around me, I don't care. I don't need conversations to go a certain way. If people are around me talking whatever they're talking about, conspiracy, whatever, it doesn't matter. I can stay in that space and bless everyone, know the truth, continue eating my smoothie, or my sandwich, or what. Just when you can be there as the light quietly, and watch your own mind that you think the conversation should be going differently. So that's another way to watch your mind like a hawk. Like, I would be happier if everybody was talking differently. No, you find your own happiness within, and you won't be bothered by anything.
The other thing that's coming up, and I'm pretty sure it's what you taught here last week, though it could be somewhere else. This idea, when people are sharing stories, you sit in the pause and with the Holy Spirit or your holiness, and often your response seems like you're not listening. Wasn't that what we were
Yeah.
talking about last week. Have your response come from an inspired place.
Yeah, because sometimes people will think you're ignoring them or you got your head in the sand. People will say you're spiritually bypassing. I mean, people will say all sorts of things. They'll say like you're delusional, you're just, you know, whatever people say, but you'll know in your own heart, like you'll know because you're just holding the space there and watch all those thoughts like a hawk. I just want to say too, just about people who are passing away, because it's happening right now in the world, right? It's like there's a lot of people who are losing family members right now. Just people just passing unexpectedly, and it can be shocking. And just give yourself the space to go through whatever you're going through. Don't try to be a certain way. The pause, the quiet is the best place I know. Like this one said, the kid was about 21 and suddenly died. My cousin is distraught. What can I say to her aside from sending her light and love? And that's all. That kind of a question is so good. Like, what can I do? It's just like, be with her, be with, that's the second part of the Course in Miracles. Like, that's where this doesn't end when the 40-day ends. Like, we are here as light workers, as messengers of peace, as healers, that we carry this to those who are distraught. That's the thing. We're in a world where people suffer, they're lonely, they're sad, they're scared. First, we have to transcend out of that first before we can be helpful. You don't have to transcend out of it totally, but you have to have a moment where you love without attack. So thank you for asking the question. So just be there. Be there for your cousin. Just, and don't try to get the words right. Sending love and light, that's good. And just that's all we can do. Like, how can I help? That's a great question too. When someone's in a space, they've lost someone. How can I help? I'm here. Just listening. So I love you all.
So can I just add one little thing?
Yeah.
As I'm listening to all of this with my love and joy,
Yeah.
it comes back to what you taught in the first days. The ego wants to make this so complicated, and it really isn't. So I just felt like saying that out loud. You taught very clearly there's this circle of love, there's a circle of fear. We have, no matter how it feels, no matter what the world is throwing at us, we always have, right? The Course teaches us we only really have one choice.
Yeah.
And it really boils down to, in the day of the 40 day, which circle we sit in. And if we're choosing that nothing is going to keep us from that circle of love, then our only job really is to notice when we're not there, get back there, pause, and respond from there.
Exactly. And that's it. And Cindy, that was perfect what you just said. And for me, one of the biggest places of freedom that I found over the years is to stop waiting for evidence or results. So, like with the question about your cousin and the 21-year-old that passed, trust that you just being here asking that question is already creating a cascade of healing that you can't even imagine. Just you being here with that willingness to want to help, to want to heal, to want to, bring comfort, to do something, that I get chills. Like that's where we have to stop using the body's eyes and the five senses to really know, like, okay, just me having the willingness to not attack, to be quiet, to be available, to want to love, that there's something that, and that's what the course is all about, is that there is a healing power. There is, Jesus in the course calls it the one with you. So there's something in you, the light in you. It's literally already going out, helping everyone, and it's already doing its mighty work. But we as bodies think, well, I want to see evidence of it. I want to see evidence of my cousin healed and happy, or my something. Trust that you just being in the stillness, hand on the heart, we got that from Bill Free. Just bring all that back. Say, here I am, ready and willing to be helpful. As just say whatever needs to be said, if anything, and it's all being taken care of. So I love you all. Have the best day ever. I love you, Cindy. Thank you so much. You are so funny. Love you.
Gonna go have a dance party in my living room now.
Bedroom dance party.
Here we go. Bye, everyone. Love you. We are no longer on Facebook.
That's funny.
And now we can end this meeting. I'll get it uploaded as quickly as we can. Happy birthday, Sabine.
Love you. Happy birthday, everyone.
Bye-bye.